Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Just Keep Parenting. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for the shares. I've talked with quite a few of you during the past few months and talked about how you've shared a few things with people who are struggling with some of their parenting skills or are frustrated with some of their parenting skills. So thank you. Thank you for passing the word along. We're going to talk today, as we chatted about last week, going to the doctor. Today we're going to follow that up with going to the dentist, right? Preparing your children to go to the dentist. And the dentist has always been kind of a difficult time for me. It's not something that I love to do, even as an adult. And so thinking about how maybe I would have done it differently as a child, I don't know. But as I read Mr. Rogers, I'm like, yes, that's what I should have done, right? That's what maybe would have made a difference in my life. I don't know completely, but I do feel like maybe the dentist wouldn't be something that I don't really like to do at this point in my life. Maybe just because I'm adult and I have to spend money on my teeth, I wouldn't like it. I don't know, but I just love the fact that he says this: one of the first ways we human beings learn about the world is through our mouths. I'd never really thought about that. It's so true. In fact, our earliest pleasure comes through our mouths, right? That's how they eat. The experience of that early feeding influences us forever. All through life, we use our mouths for eating, for talking, for expressing feelings, and for showing affection. And so I just thought, I love this. I love the fact that my mouth is that important, right? And if we can help children understand how important their mouth is, then maybe going to the dentist will be a little bit of a different experience for them. So I like to be told, right? I like to be told what's happening. I like to be told of changes. I like to be told of upcoming things that might make me nervous so that I can process them, so that I can talk to somebody else who's actually done it. And that's as a 58-year-old woman, right? So if I'm thinking about children and how we can help better prepare them, I think it's a win-win situation. So we can talk about the tools, right? I know I have a little mouth mirror that I got at the dentist for some reason, and I thought I'm going to keep that because I want to talk to kids about that, right? That somebody's going to actually put their fingers in your mouth, and there's going to be tools that they use, right? It's just so helpful to prepare them on what to expect, right? There's going to be a bright light. You're going to be in a fancy chair that goes up and down and it lays you back. But talking to them and maybe even inviting them to watch you get your teeth cleaned could be helpful, right? So that they understand that it's a normal process that most of us go through. As we think about unfamiliar things in our life and how we would like to know and how we can make them more familiar, I think it's important for us to recognize that those children who are 4, 3, 5, right, depending on what time they go for their first checkup, it's important that they understand that these things are going to happen. There's also a tray, right, of sharp-looking objects that they might see. The little hoses, right, that squirt water in your mouth and actually vacuum the water out of your mouth. And as we build that schema, right, as we talk about hoses, as we talk about vacuums, things that they've had schema with, then it's like, oh yeah, I've watered the flowers with a hose. Oh yeah, I've used the vacuum, or I've watched, one of my parents use a vacuum, so that they can then start to build that schema at what's going to happen at the dentist. Sometimes it's the small things that we as adults take for granted that are the biggest things for the children because they have no experience with them. I love this story, this quote in here when Mr. Rogers says, a bib that suddenly gets clipped around the neck, for instance, might make a child wonder if he or she is going to be turned into a baby again. There again, it's that schema, right? They have a schema with a bib. Bibs go on babies. So what is this going to do to me? And sometimes I don't think enough about how children's schema helps with the information that they're getting right now. So because dentists don't usually do treatments, right, on a first visit, That's a good time for the children to get used to sitting in the dentist chair and seeing what it's like to have someone look into their mouths, right? Some of us are worried because many of our young children bite, right? And so are they going to bite the dentist? I'm afraid I might bite somebody if I didn't know what was going on, if I didn't know that somebody was going to be prodding and poking around in my mouth. But helping them prepare beforehand will help them control that urge. And being able to talk about that with your child, you may feel like you want to bite if there's somebody in your mouth, but if you're going to bite, that's going to hurt the dentist's fingers, right? Another thing to do is call ahead to the dentist and just talk to them about maybe some of your concerns with your child. It's always nice to know from their viewpoint, right, that this one may be a little bit more anxious about things that are happening. As we think about why we go to the dentist, right, taking care of ourselves. So as children recognize that they're going to meet many healthcare professionals, right, in their life, this is just the beginning, right? We have to teach them that they're taking care of themselves. They are worth being taken care of. They are worth going to the doctor, going to the dentist, going to those places that take care of our bodies. One of the things that one of the kindergarten teachers here does really well, she always talks about, yeah, it's time to go to the restroom. You need to go take care of your body. Somebody asks for a drink. Yes, take care of your body. If your body is thirsty, you need to take care, right? You're worth taking care of your body. And I love that. I love that aspect. He says here, when children feel that they are people who are worth taking care of, they are much more likely to grow into adults who will take good care of themselves. And then, of course, he talks about, the trusting situation like we did with the doctor last week. If we can show our children that we trust our dentist, right, that we trust our doctors, then it's better for our children. He said it may be hard for some of us parents to help our children have positive attitudes about the dentist when we ourselves are dealing with our own memories and concerns about drilling. And so that's me, right? I used to say I hate the dentist. I don't really love the word hate. And so I try to use the word dislike. I really dislike going to the dentist, right? But I have some friends that I love. I love my hygienist. I love that she's very gentle with my teeth. And I really like my dentist as well. And so having that trust and having our children see that trust will be helpful for them. Dentistry has changed a lot since I started going to the dentist, and it's almost completely painless now when a child goes to have that first exam, right? So helping them understand that. And having a relationship, meaning having a trustful relationship, being able to chat with them about your concerns. As your child sees this, they will be able to trust them as well. So now to the helpful hints that Mr. Rogers talks about. He said, first thing, help your child know what to expect, right? We've kind of done that. Talk about the fancy chair. And I love this. He said, you may want to ask a librarian for books about the dentist's office so your child can see what some of the equipment looks like. He has a great book about going to the dentist and going to the doctor. And they're a little outdated now because some of the things look different, but you might be able to find some different books that are a little bit more updated about those visits. Let your child know about the waiting room, right? What the waiting room is for. When we have a doctor's office here in Dramatic Play, we always have a waiting room so that we have books there, we have magazines there, we have some of those twirly wire things so that they can play with them. And we talk about what a waiting room is. So if your doctor or dentist doesn't have a waiting room, be able to have things in your purse or backpack that you can have. Encourage your child to play, right? Just like we encourage them to play the doctor giving shots, taking your blood pressure, encourage them to play being the dentist as well. And then, again, we've talked about this, you might think about taking your child to a cleaning visit before they go. So taking them to one of your visits. It's good to call the hygienist, right, and talk about your anxiousness about your child going to the dentist beforehand, before they actually get there. And then brushing teeth, right? Kids love to be grown up, right? They love to shave or brush their teeth, but start brushing, right? They may start it, you may have to finish it, but give them that opportunity to do that. And then talk about milk and crunchy fruits and vegetables and how good they are for our teeth. and then talk about the difference between good food for our teeth and not so good for our teeth and how we should limit those things. So there you go. Encourage your children to have healthy habits as they start into their lives, and that they're worth it. I love that piece that Mr. Rogers talks about, that we're worth it. We're worth to spend that time, to spend that money, to be able to take care of our teeth and take care of our body. So here's to taking care of our teeth and taking care of our body this week. Thanks everybody for joining us, and share it with who you'd like to, and give me some ideas if you'd like some ideas about questioning strategies that you're not questioning, but parenting strategies that you have questions about. I'd love to tackle them. Have a great weekend.